Jackie and Jason here enjoying Labor Day. As you can tell, it is fall time, and Jackie is strapping on her football helmet as we are all excited about football back in the state of Iowa. And when you're excited about football, Jason Parkin, you're excited about Hawkeye football.
Excited about Hawkeye football. It's kind of a pivotal year because, you know, the attendance so far is down. Maybe that'll change, but folks are really focusing a lot on the Hawkeyes.
We are the Hawkeye State.
Exactly. So we decided to go to the Polk County I-Club president, Joe Schmelke, and get his take on the Hawkeyes.
Put it on this way.
That's why we have Joe Schmelke here, as we are going to talk a little Hawkeye football. He's president of the Polk County I-Club as we get set for the new season. Good, bad, ugly, what do we have in store for us?
That's what I asked him when I came in. How much am I going to suffer as a Hawkeye fan?
You know, I was saying life is about expectations, particularly in sports. And I mean, if Iowa State wins 5 games this year, as an example, they're going to sign Rhodes to a new contract probably. If Iowa wins 5 games, you're probably going to be very, very upset with Ferentz. So it's all about expectations. And I think we're going to have a pretty decent team. I think we got a really good shot at having a good team, but we got to stay healthy. C.J. Beathard is, you know, he's an awesome quarterback, but you got to keep him healthy.
But now he cut his hair. So.
He did. He cut his hair.
Oh, you know what that could mean. You know, we've read those stories.
And skin color too.
But no, I think he's one of the big keys. You keep him healthy. He's the kind of guy that you know, he can just go on a run and he can do a lot of things. He can win games for you, particularly at the end of a game. He can pull something out and win a game. So I think we're going to be a really fun team. That's going to be probably the best thing about this year. Is it's going to be a lot of fun to be over there. I think you're not going to be out of a game. I think they're going to have to throw the ball around and do some things, and it's going to be kind of an exciting environment over there.
The big headlines you're hearing right now have to do with the stadium, that they're trying to raise a ton of money. They just had one thing approved where they're going to be fixing up part of one side of the stadium. But yeah, that's the big thing you're hearing right now, just raising a lot of money to improve the facility. Is that what it takes to get people excited about Hawkeye football again, or the team? What's it going to take to get people?
I think wins would make it more exciting than the stadium. But you know, you got to win. You got to play some exciting football, and you got to do some of the things that need to take place to win at home. In particular, we used to win at home all the time. We went through a stretch there where we didn't lose at Kinnick hardly at all. And the last 5 or so years, we found ways to lose almost. Instead of finding ways to win, we found ways to lose. Special teams in particular. But yeah, the stadium's a big deal. Polk County I-Club's helping to raise money for that. You know, I think there's a huge demand for the luxury suites and really the club seats. Club seats, there's a huge waiting list for club seats. It's very expensive to get into those things, but people want them. They want to be able to kind of go into almost a sports bar type environment, have a drink, come back out, sit in a seat, watch the game,
outside,
go inside and outside. And I tell you, with the weather the way it is in Iowa, you know, some of those games early on are so hot that it's kind of nice to go into the air conditioning for a little while, and then games at the end of the season so cold, it's nice to get out of.
Now, speaking of seats in general, there was a time when you could not get a seat. You know, for the stadium. What's the situation now? Are you able to go up and buy a ticket?
You can.
This year, at least right now, you're going to be able to. Yeah, there's. I think ticket sales are down a fair amount. The students, in particular, the student section has really kind of dropped off. I think they got so tough on the students and drinking and different things over there that I think some of them just said, you know, we'll just have a party at our house and watch it on TV type of thing, and that's kind of created some backlash. So, ticket sales are not where they want to be, and after 5 straight years of really kind of mediocre records.
Where do you sit when you go to the games?
We get good seats through the I-Club. We're at about the 40-yard line, about I don't know, 30 rows up, I think.
Now, what would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody who's never been to a game there over in Iowa City? That's thinking about going. They're going, I'm not sure I want to travel 2 hours to go to Iowa City to go see a football game. What would you tell them?
I would tell them they're nuts not to go. I mean, I think there's people in life where you either watch the game or you're part of the game. And if you go to Iowa City and you go to Kinnick, you're part of the game. I mean, you're out there and you're tailgating and you're hanging out. I mean, I see friends of mine from Chicago, people I haven't seen forever. You know, you're hanging out, you're having a great tailgate, and then you go into the game. I tell them to go into the game early. There's so much stuff that goes on at 20 minutes, half an hour before kickoff, and the ability, you know, for my kids and things like that when we go in. And
like, what kind of stuff are you talking about? I've never been to a game at Kinnick.
I mean, they start, you know, the band comes out onto the field early, and they start to play, and then you've got the national anthem as an example, which I think is really, really cool thing. And then the team starts to come down out of their locker room, and they put it up on the big video boards and everything like that, and you see them walking down the tunnel, and they're playing Back in Black, and Yeah, it's just a really cool experience, and then they all get out there, and you got the anticipation, and then they run out onto the field, and the band's playing, and everybody's going crazy.
Your heart starts beating a little faster.
And you're just like, it's a ton of fun. It's just great. So.
And you were saying Coach Ferentz is trying to have more of a presence besides just being over in his neck of the woods. He wants to get to know people all across the state to just kind of revive what Hawkeye Nation is all about.
Well, I think the university's looking at it and saying, we got a great guy, and I don't think people really know him. And part of that's been by design. He's like, leave me alone. I want to go coach, type thing. Well, now I think they're coming out and saying, hey, this guy is really good. And if you really know him, and I've got to know Kirk a little bit and Mary as well. I mean, they're off the charts great people. They're not just a football coach. I mean, they are great community members. They're donating money to the university hospitals, a lot of time. They do a ton of extra things, and I just think people don't know Kirk, and that's his fault. I mean, he can be out there talking to people.
Is he going to correct that in the near future, you think?
Yeah. I think they're doing a lot more. You saw the interview, with some other people, and there's things on the local radios here and stuff like that. Mary's, I think, coming out more. We have tried to get Mary to come over here several times. She's been over to 1 or 2 iClub events, but people absolutely love her.
Yeah, she's been here. She was on our show, and she was amazing. She was a great woman.
She's just outstanding. What she's doing over there at the university, for University Children's Hospital is phenomenal. So
look,
they need to do more of that.
There's a little bit of pressure on this team, and let's be honest about that. And
sure.
I heard the Northwestern coach a few years back say, when he was asked about preparing for Iowa, he said it's not hard to do because they do the same thing every year. And as an armchair quarterback, maybe that needs to change. Maybe it needs to become more fun, more unpredictable. And I think that's what people are looking for this year. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to shake it up a little bit. You've got to do what you do well, and I think that's Kirk's philosophy. It's like, well, I'd rather do something simple and do it very, very well than do something exotic or whatever, and be very lose the game. But we've got to play a lot better on special teams. I mean, you can go back 5 years ago. The decline of our program started back in 2010. Yeah, it was Kirk right there calling
right there.
In my ear. And that was on the fake punt against Wisconsin.
Yes.
We had that game, and for some reason or other, we made a coaching error. We put in our punt return team, and they took advantage and went down, scored.
So when are things kicking off? If people are getting excited for football season, we want to see what this team can do. When are things kicking off, and what are the big games that we're looking forward to? Well,
I think things are going to kick off. We're going to do. We're doing Polk County iClub's doing a radio show. HawkeyeNation.com radio show is going to be on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock this year. Kirk moved practices now are in the morning, so Kirk's doing his radio show earlier in the evening. So we'll be at 8 o'clock at Jethro's every Wednesday night. We broadcast live from there, so that'll be a lot of fun. You got a lot of the good home games. We're going to do game watches out there at Jethro's on 22nd Street. Iowa State game, that's going to be a big game.
That's going to be
always huge.
I think it's a big game for both coaches. Probably not as big for Ferentz, but certainly a big one for Rhodes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if he doesn't win that and have good success against Iowa the last few years, I don't think he's probably still around. And Kirk's got to turn that around a little bit, too. So Pittsburgh game will be a lot of fun. You want to talk about a home game to go to?
Okay.
That Pittsburgh game is going to be a night game. I think it'll be a ton of fun over there. Night games are a great time.
Okay.
And the environment, the weather holds up.
It's not always easy to get over there. I know if you're a huge fan, you make it the effort, but if you have a busy schedule, you want to know it's like, okay, if I want to go see this great team in action, what are the games I need to get over and watch? So that'd be a good one to check.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome one. We take our Hawkeye, there it is, Hawkeye Nation RV, HawkeyeNation.com RV. So look for that. We're in the north lot, and come by. Well, that's where we hold our Polk County iClub tailgates.
There you go.
Everybody's kind of invited
I like
to
the
that.
new logo.
I was going to say, if you're not a part of it, can you just stop by and hang out?
Absolutely.
I have to say, I didn't go to school here for college, but I'm a supporter of our local colleges. And when I was in New York, I hooked up with the Hawkeye Nation that was in New York City, and we went out to a game in Massachusetts, had a blast. I'm like, people are supportive of this team all across the country.
Everywhere you go, I mean, there's a huge following down in Phoenix and really all across the country. There's a ton of Hawk fans everywhere.
Now, if you do want to get to know Kirk a little better, don't forget on this station, the coaches shows are going to air on Sunday nights now. 10 o'clock is when it's going to be on, so you can check out both the Iowa and also Iowa State coaches shows will be, but the Hawkeyes will be first.
That's a great deal for you guys. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
It's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right, go Hawks.
All right, buddy.